go.
This call is being recorded.
Okay, Tiff, thanks for talking with me and chatting about what had happened in your experience with all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So to kind of go through this in a set of questions, your job search, your career was like before going through the program?
It was kind of scattered. It was kind of all over the place. Like, I didn't really know what I wanted. I'll rephrase. I knew what I wanted to do. I just didn't know how to get there. And so I was making the same kind of mistakes over and over and over again, searching for the same type of roles when really those roles I had, kind of gotten past that, and I really wanted to evolve in my career. So it definitely allowed me to kind of take a holistic approach about what I wanted to do and how I wanted to get there.
What is it that you think that you are trying to solve? Do you think that there was something in particular?
Yeah, it was, just really trying to understand and put some clarity around what I wanted to really do. There were things, I kept on doing things that I was good at, not necessarily things that were my passion. And so, going through the whole process, talking with Valerie, Valerie challenged me, and, you challenged me to do some really deep digging and some soul searching to really find out, okay, what is it that's going to make you happy? What is it, how do you marry your passion with your ability? So that was really the problem that I needed to solve, and I solved it going through the program.
Where do you think you started to search? Where do you think, going back, thinking about that, way back, taking me back probably to the beginning there, where do you think you started?
As far as, like, actually physically searching for a job?
Yeah.
I was doing things that I was really used to, like going to the job boards and, just kind of things here and there, relying less on my network and more on things that were published. So that was really the place where I started, and again, just started looking for some of the same things or some of the same roles that I was used to doing.
And from where you were searching, what had led you to me? Where do you think you went from there to here?
Because I knew I needed to do, yeah. I think I knew I needed to do something different, and I knew that I was on the cusp of, just a career evolution, and I needed, people say you don't know your own blind spots, and so I knew that I needed a coach. I knew that I needed, I knew I needed that, and just, I don't know, it was something I saw, and I think I saw a Facebook ad, honestly, and I clicked on it. I think I did. I think I saw a Facebook ad, and I clicked on it, and then we had our initial session, and I just knew that, it was meant for us to work together, specifically for you to work with me and coach me to where I needed to be and challenge me.
I still remember that conversation. That was such an amazing conversation.
I know. It was like,
we talked for such a long time, remember?
Yeah, we were supposed to only talk for a half an hour, and then we ended up talking for an hour and a half?
We were supposed to talk for an hour, and it went almost 2 hours.
Yeah, it was
a long conversation, but it was great.
But even during that conversation, though, it was just things that certain things that you would ask me, certain things that you were challenging me in that conversation to think very differently and to not be so, married to my comfort zone, because I think that was my biggest problem. I'm comfortable here. I know what to do here, and, I want to keep going along that path, but that path was not fulfilling, and I was just getting frustrated. So that conversation was really, I knew at that conversation that it was a wrap. I was coming to work with you.
That was a fun conversation. I remember that. It was very lively. It was a lot of fun. I remember laughing. We were joking a lot. What do you think, thinking back again, what do you think made the service stand out to you, the program stand out to you?
I think what made it stand out to me really was it was very personal. And I've evaluated, different coaches and just different programs. And it always, in my experience, it just seems like coaches or certain programs want to apply a framework to you, right? And, take you through certain regimented steps of how to get from point A to point B. And yours was not like that at all. It was really I need to know you, I need to understand you, and, there's going to be times where I give it to you with, sugar, and there's sometimes I'm going to give it to you with spice. And I need to I need to be comfortable giving that information to you. And so it was just very different. It was very personalized, not like any coaching programs that I had evaluated in the past.
Okay. What do you think made you the happiest about working together? I know we enjoyed our time together. I know I did anyways.
I did. I just loved talking to you because it's very easy to talk to you, Valerie. It's so easy to talk to you.
Thank you.
But it's easy to talk to you, but you also you challenge me and you push me, and it doesn't feel rough. You know what I mean? It feels like I'm like, you know what? I do need to do this, or I do need to think about that this way. And the way that you present it is not like you're telling someone what to do, but it's just, it's just, I just loved our conversations. I always look forward to our Monday mornings, always.
Monday morning coffee? That was amazing.
Monday morning coffee, Monday morning, 8 a.m.
We had the best meeting. We had the best time. What do you think, what outcome you've looked for since working together, since the program? Do you think that it actually solved the problem for you? Do you think that you've gotten there? Do you think you're still working a little bit? Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. My initial problem of kind of marrying my passion with my ability, I've definitely solved that. Like, I have really stepped out of, with your coaching and with your tutelage, I have stepped out of that comfort zone. Like, one of the things that you told me was initially, even when our first conversation is, why are you doing this? Why are you looking for the same roles? I can already tell that you're beyond that. I can already tell that you are a level above that. And so from that conversation and from our working together, I haven't really searched in those particular areas since then. My goal was executive level leadership, and I have really transitioned all of my search, all of my efforts, all of my conversations to that vein. So yes, I think that goal has definitely been accomplished, and I feel really comfortable doing it. Yeah, I used to always question, like, oh my gosh, well, I don't have this, I don't have that. I don't even have those questions. I don't do that to myself anymore. I think I still have work to do. I think, it's always a work in progress. I think it's always evolutionary. But I approach things so differently. Like, I approach things from, what value or the prospect that I can bring versus, oh, well, I don't have this, or I'm looking or checking out those particular boxes. I don't even do that anymore.
That's good. I'm very, very happy to hear that. That makes me very excited.
Yeah. Yeah, because you were like, if you were, a guy, you wouldn't be sitting here doing that. You'd just be like, okay, I can do this. And whatever I don't have, I'll make it work. I'll leverage it. And that's how I look at everything now. Like, I look at certain roles. I remember a specific conversation we had. It was, my goal when we stepped it out, would be this CHRO role. Being, a chief executive leader in the human resources or, change management or dev space. And I remember that one of the roles she sent me, I was like, oh my God, this is the perfect role, but I don't have this and I don't have that and I don't have this. And you're like, oh my God, could you please stop? What about all the things that you do have? And so that's what I look for now. Like, what do I have?
You do have a lot, and you have to give yourself the credit for that. So that's really important. Do you think that there's something there that exceeded your expectations from when you first enrolled?
Yeah, I just think everything. I mean, like, I did not expect, I mean, I won't say I didn't expect, but I'm just like, just our meetings and, just our conversations and, the work that you did with me on, like, my LinkedIn profile and everything like that. It's just, like I said, it was just so, tailored to me. Like, I know that you have several other coaches and other clients, but the whole time I felt like I was your only client.
Oh.
And I know that's not the truth. I know that's not the case. I know that's not the case. I mean, you're a big TV, but the whole time I just felt like I was literally, it was just, me and you.
Because I try to pay a lot of attention to my clients. I try to make sure that they feel very, very important, very special, and that they know that, the attention is important. Attention to detail, attention to them, whatever they need, making sure that they feel cared for, know that they're even loved, because going through this process can be very hard for some people. Harder for some than others. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very important for them to know that, because some people have some very negative associations with job searching. Some have had really bad experiences with interviews. Some are leaving jobs for different reasons, and some of it can be very traumatic for them. So just trying to make that process as easy as possible is important.
And you did that for me. And you said it, like, I felt loved. Like, it's so difficult for any type of career transition, regardless of whether, it's voluntary or, involuntary. And, and it's painful. It's very painful. And so, during that process, I felt like loved. I really did.
Good. Thank you. I'm glad you did. Why would you say that you think others should take their time and invest in the program and spend time and try and go through this themselves?
Again, I'm going to go back to something that I said. You don't know your own blind spots. I mean, some of the best, you think about the best athletes, you think about the best, business minds in the world. Everybody has a coach. Everybody does, because there's people there. You can't pull out everything within you because you don't even know what's within you. And so, it often takes other people to get that extra out of you, to, challenge you to do more than what you think or what you can do. And so that would be my advisement. I would just, anyone who's looking to go really to either looking at a career transition or just looking really at a mindset shift, I would definitely encourage and endorse them going through your program, because it just really has, for me, I question so much about, my career and, the value that I added, not only just in the professional space, but also in the personal space. And so I really got a chance to confront those feelings and resolve those. Mm-hmm. And for me, that's going to benefit me not only in my career, but also in everything else that I do.
Your personal life, too, everything. That transcends. Mm-hmm. That transcends. That means a lot. That's big.
Yeah, I just don't think about things. I'm telling you, I used to really think about things, and this from being with me. I used to just think about things.
You're laughing about it.
Yeah, like, it was things in a, not a negative way. I won't say negative, but it was very questioning my ability, questioning, my purpose, questioning all that. And I just, I've got so much more clarity from I mean, we started working together back in November of last year, November, October, something like that. And from then until now, like I just have a completely different mindset in the way that I approach things, and I like it.
I'm happy. I like it too. That makes me very happy. Good. Excellent. Thank you. How do you think overall all of this has benefited your overall trajectory? So not even just in the short term, but the long term too.
It's just given me direction. And I think, you know, in the past, it's given me my own direction. Let me rephrase that. I think in the past, I had direction, but it was, you know, someone else's direction, or what, you know, I thought my career should be, or here's what I think that I should be doing, and not really understanding, okay, yeah, what is it that you want to do? And, you know, when you look back over the course of your career, what do you want it to be like? And so I think for me, you know, that was part of me kind of going from role to role, because I didn't really understand what I wanted to do. And so, or understand what I wanted my direction to be. And so for me, it's given me the direction. I am very crystal clear on, here's what I want to do and here's how I'm going to get there. Before, I did not have that clarity.
Wow, that's big too. Oh, thank you. That's really big.
I grew up a little bit. I grew up. Like, I really was able, you know, I know that I have the talent. I know that I have the skills. I know that I have the education. And so I'm like, you know what? Make it work. Like, at that point, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just have to tell yourself, okay, now you're going to get out here and do it. And I wouldn't have been there or been able to get to that place if I didn't go through this program with you.
That's big too. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear how well you're doing. Even a couple months later, you've kept it all up on your own. This is amazing.
Yeah. I've done what you told me to do. I journal. I do, you know, because that was the one thing you're like, okay, you gotta do this or whatever. And you know, I've kept it up, and I'm like, you know, and I can tell when I don't do it, like I kind of feel a little bit scattered, and so it always gets me back to, okay, Ginger, okay, you know what you got to do it.
Good. I'm glad you know what works and you stick with it. Do you think if you were given a chance, you would do it all over again?
Oh, absolutely. I should have done it a long time ago. I should have found you. I wish I would have found you. I wish I would have found you like 5 years ago. But no, absolutely, I would do it all over again. I think it was, you know, it's just completely changed my mindset and in a positive direction. And then I'm able to really, you know, use a lot of what we have gone through and what we've talked about. It's really to reinforce my day-to-day. Okay, how is this? Is this really going to get you? Like, this is one of the questions you would always ask me. Is that really going to get you where you want to go? And so I ask myself that all the
time. I'm glad you still think about that.
Yeah. I ask myself that all the time. And I'm like, okay, if you take this role, or if you take, you know, engage with this company, or if you engage with this particular person, is that really going to get you where you want to go? And so I evaluate stuff in just in that vein. Like, I've had a lot of, you know, a fair amount of companies approach me, and I haven't necessarily talked with all of them, because, okay, now I'm like, I look at the role and I look at, you know, yeah, money may be great, you know, role may be great on paper, but is it really truly what I want to do? And is it really going to get me to my end goal? If it's yes, then I'll talk to them. If it's no, then I keep moving on. And before, I would have talked to everybody, just because.
I'm so glad now you've learned that you've gotten all of this. You've learned so much. You've been able to apply it. You're still applying it months later. You're still doing it. You've kept it up. You're going strong. You've got such momentum. You're doing so well. Do you feel like you have anything else you'd want to share? Do you want to add anything?
Yes.
Anything?
The thing that I would definitely add, and, I know we didn't necessarily talk about it during the course of the conversation, but it's so vital. Like, the network is just so vital. And I had a pretty robust network that I wasn't using. And that was one of the things that you drilled and honed into me, is that use that network. I have like 20 some hundred odd LinkedIn connections. You were like, use every last one of them. Talk to every last one of them, and, engage with those, specifically with those who are where you want to be or along the path that you want to go. And I can tell you that the roles that I've been approached for, I've been approached. I have not went out and sought these particular roles. They've come to me either based on, somebody from my network saying something to someone else, or, oh, I heard that you are, you might be looking for XYZ, and so we thought about you.
That brings a very high value, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it just changes the way that I do things. Like, I haven't been on a job board in months. I don't think I've been on a job board probably since 2018. I mean, I might get some alerts or whatever, and I might I might see something that, that's interesting. And the first thing that I'll do if I see something that's interesting, I'll go and I'll see who I know to talk to them about it. But I haven't physically applied to a job in months.
That's amazing too. Yeah, I love that. You're learning how to use your network for everything, and that is one of the highest values possible.
Yep. Yeah, you were like, you got all these contacts, and you got your alumni associations, like, you with your undergrad and grad degree, and you said, why aren't you using those? Why are you not using these people? Why are you not leveraging those people and having conversations? And just, even if it turns out to be nothing, at least they know that you have some sort of interest. They know what you do, or they know what you want to do. And so the next time that something comes across one of their paths, they're going to think about you. And that is so valuable.
It is. And it's because a job board is just something that you can just click apply, and you can click apply and get sucked into the black hole, and you can get stuck there. And that's it. But, when you're talking to people who know you, then what's better than a reference? It's your reputation.
Exactly.
There's nothing better.
And like the role, nothing better. You're absolutely right. The role that I ended up landing, it was because one of my HR directors at my previous role was, that's a connection of hers, and she knew that my new CHRO was looking for somebody with, to do what I do, and she connected us, and that's it. Like, I've never applied. We had lunch, and I pretty much had a job.
And that's incredible. People, there's such a misnomer that it's going to be so hard, and not necessarily. It's not necessarily going to be so difficult. And speaking of difficulty, one final question for you.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on negotiation? Because that also, I think, has a bad reputation.
It
a lot of people
happen.
think that.
Yeah, it definitely has to happen. You have not because you ask not. And, I was afraid to do that. I won't say I was afraid. I was just kind of a little bit skittish of putting it out there, because I felt like I didn't want anybody to take something away. Like, okay, you got the offer on the table. And so now now she's asking for too much. Like, oh, we can move on. And so but I've gotten over that. Like, and just to give you an example, like there was in the role that I went to now, there was an offer that was put out there, and it was a great offer. It was a great offer. I mean, if we negotiated and we didn't move from that, I would have been happy with that. I would have been fine. But, I came back with what my salary should be, or, what I wanted my salary to be. And my number was about 30,000 over their number, and they accepted it.
Because it's the value that you're bringing to the position and to the organization, and it's what they're thinking about, what they want, and what you can do, and what you can accomplish, and it's why they want you. And if they can't see that, then why would you want to be there? Why would you want to work for someone who can't even see your value right off the bat?
Absolutely. So yeah, it's critical. Negotiation, especially for women, it's critical. I mean, that's part of the reasons why, unfortunately the gender pay gap is what it is, because we typically don't negotiate it. We accept the first offer, and it's just, there's so much more. There's never anything that I want to leave on the table, ever. Whether it's salary, whether it's, and salaries, the compensation package is everything, whether it's salary, benefits, vacation, whatever it is that's important to you, I would definitely advise it to negotiate.
Perfect. Thank you. Do you have anything else that you'd like to share?
You're awesome. I love you. But no, thank you. Thank you for, really thank you. I just really want to thank you for just being in my corner and challenging me to do better. Because that's what I needed. I needed to be challenged to come out of my comfort zone. I needed to be challenged to just be a little bit more confident in who I was and what I can bring. And I was not. And I really thank you for that.
You're very welcome. From the bottom of my heart, that means a lot to me. And I'm really, really glad that it worked, that it helps, and that you feel like you've become who and what you want, that you're going after what you want, and that things are different. And, it's really changed your trajectory and your mindset and the way you're approaching things now. And that you're still keeping it strong and going.
That is the plan. That's what you coached me to do. So that's what I'm going to keep doing.
Thank you. I'm really, really glad. And thank you so much for chatting too. I really appreciate it.
Cool. Anytime.